The old people say time flies when you're having fun. Is season 9 really over already? And what are we supposed to do about all the madness that's happening right now before season 10 starts? And most importantly, what y'all got cooking up in the oven for season 10? Well, child, I'm glad you asked because we are talking about it after the break.
Brokers, welcome to another episode of Brokeish, where we talk about the unbelievable ish this country has done to keep us broke. Now here are your hosts, Amber and Erika.
Hello, brokers. I'm Amber.
And I'm Erika.
And today on Brokish, we are saying sayonara to season 9.
I would make a joke right now that would be completely inappropriate. So I'm
I
not
know
going to
what
do it
joke
because
you
it's an
want to make.
inside joke too. So
I know what joke you want to make, and I want you to make it so that people can know who you are.
no, I refuse to. But Amber, girl, can I just say that I don't think I've ever been so happy to be at the end of a season. I respectfully a bit just tired. I don't know.
Disrespectfully, this I'm tired too, okay?
Look, I mean, when I tell you I am tired, but why are you so tired? And then I'm gonna tell you why I'm so tired.
You know what I feel like? I don't even know if tired is the right word. Y'all remember that State Farm commercial where that old white man got the fishing pole and the dollar and he dangling it out and he like, you gotta be quicker than that. You gotta be
Mm-mm.
quicker than that. Okay. And the guy at the other end is trying to grab the dollar and he can't grab it. That's how I feel in my life right now. Like everything I'm trying to grab,
It's out
like,
of
you gotta be
reach.
quicker than that. You gotta be quicker
Oh,
than that. And so I'm just like wore out. You know, I got 11 kids, school
yes.
started, work, all the things. So I'm not quick enough for all the stuff coming.
You know what? That really resonates with me.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm
Because
not alone.
yes, because a lot of times, you and I don't agree, and you be on some BS a lot of times. And so I'm always happy when we can like come together and be like kumbaya moment. So I love that for us.
And I will tell you that this must be my time of the year because I will share with the brokers that this is I believe, the second or the third year in a row that Erica has had to remind me of my children's birthday. And so I feel like this must just be my season of insanity because I have two children whose birthdays are August 30th and September 1st. And you would think that that would be a really good excuse not to forget. And every year, Erica just happens to be talking about her daughter's birthday because her daughter and my daughter have the same birthday on August 30th. And I'd be like, oh, snap. I need to have a birthday party for my kids. Good looking out, sis. So maybe this just is my time of the year where I'll be struggling. Maybe that's
And
it.
Amber, I just want to take time out right now to be so proud of myself. And this is really just a failure of my memory because I did not even bring that up to shame you. Like, would have been something that I would have done, but I didn't even do it. So, you know,
So
yeah,
is that growth or are you just not taking your ginkgo biloba?
that's just perimenopause.
Oh, okay. Okay. All
Like,
right. Well, at
that's
least you
just,
honest. At least you
that is,
honest. At least you honest. That's all right.
yes, yes.
That's all
But
right.
so, and I am tired because of, yes, the perimenopause, I think. But Amber, so many things have been happening. Can I get you caught up just for a second? Let me just get you caught up.
Yes, yes, girl. Because you finna get famous, so I need to get caught up before you start acting brand new, Drake.
Anyway, so I am really thrilled because they had this sociology conference. It's my second year going. I was kind of bummed because I'm starting to learn like in conference culture, you go and you meet your friends, right? So you have your people, and then some of my people weren't there this time. So it's not that it was less fun. Wait, I can't say that it was fun because my kids and my husband might be listening and they, have to be like, oh no, it's work. But anyway, um, don't tell nobody. So it was on some respects it was less fun because my whole crew wasn't there, but I met new folks in the crew. And one of them we've had on the show, so we'll talk about that. So I got to meet her. I met other people that I just know from the internet because one thing about me being in schools, I have so many friends just from the internet. So it's always great when I can go and see them and hug them if they want to be hugged. And so that was really fun. And so because it was in Montreal, or not because it was in Montreal, but I told my sister I was going. And so she met me there. So that was fun. So we got a chance to hang out. And girl, why was Ben Crump the keynote speaker at?
I mean, I was about to ask if you was gonna tell people, who you be hanging around with now.
Don't do that. Don't do
And
that.
then she want to act like she couldn't keep our Michelle Obama picture that we bought her for her birthday, but she out here, and it's the second time in like maybe 60 or 90 days. Oh no, that was Ursula that seen Ben Crump.
Right.
So I was about to like, oh,
So,
I'm sorry.
girl, Ben Crump, like in his speech, he is such a Baptist preacher, like 100% a Baptist preacher. But Ben Crump, they gave him some talking points, girl, and I died because he was on his script, so I was proud of him. But the talking points, I was like, Ben, you've never had those thoughts in your life. Like somebody wrote
I'm
this for you.
curious. What are his talking points? What were his talking
So
points?
because we're social scientists, he was talking about like empirical data. And I just feel like no shade because despite everything that's happening, that's a very smart man, right? Like Ben is a very
Of
smart man.
course,
Like
of course.
whatever you think about him, you can't say that he's not a smart man. But Ben ain't never talked about empirical data. He ain't never talked about it, thought about it. So I just laughed the whole time because he kept saying like empirical data. I said, okay, Ben. But empirical data, empirical research. Okay, Ben. So that was great. And he actually, in his talk, he kind of gets you fired up for a revolution. Like, which again, people like him for good and for, I get it, right? But you leave and you're like, you know, ready to take up arms. But what?
Ben Crump got you fired up for a
Look,
revolution.
I'll be missing church, and he came and he preached, and I got caught up in the moment. But again, this is not me at all advocating for Ben Crump and his work and what he's doing.
No, I hear
Like,
you. I hear you.
not all that, but I just that's why people are so taken. That man is charming. Like again, whatever you say about him,
You
he's
can
smart
be
and
a
he's
good
charming.
trial lawyer and not know how to win people over.
Does Ben go to trial? Do we be in trial? I'm sorry. Let me
No,
stop.
but
Like,
listen, when you get good at what you do, you don't have to.
I guess not. So, that was good in unexpected ways because I wasn't expecting to be like, oh, Ben Crump is charming and smart, but here we are. But girl, I'm so tired from today specifically because I okay, I'm gonna be teaching and I'm gonna have like my own class, my own students. Oh my god.
It's
And I went,
giving Professor Wayne.
shut up.
Yes.
So I went down to the schoolhouse where I'm gonna be, child, and it's like I was there and I was having to work on my syllabus and I was putting all my stuff on the computer and
Child, what you
all
teaching? What you teaching?
girl, I'm teaching social problems. And there are so
Oh,
many.
I was about to
So
say,
many.
so basically, is this brokish
Brokish, right.
101?
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And I'm so excited because my students are going to be doing one of their assignments is going to be to create a podcast. And one of their assignments is going to be to write an op-ed. So anyway,
Ooh,
I'm very
I
excited
love
about all
it.
that. Yes. So that's enough about me. But I'm just tired because I'm not used to, even before the start of the pandemic, I wasn't going to work necessarily in an office every day. And I traveled quite a bit. So I haven't been around people like that much. It's been 60 years. It's been a while for me. So to like go and like have office culture and like small talk and all that, I'm like, but here we are. So
I hate
I'm
working in
excited.
an office. I hate it. If I could do everything remotely, I am
You
a
would.
closeted introvert, and that's my dirty secret that I really don't like people as much as I pretend to.
Wow. Not me though. She talking about y'all. Not me though. She likes me.
She's got pronoun problems. I was talking about y'all. Y'all. But anyway.
Anyway, so Amber, I'm glad the season has come to an end because honestly, I am trying. I don't know if I'll get it, but I'll say it publicly. So maybe that will help me get along. I am trying to finish. I have 2 milestones to be able to start writing my dissertation. And I am trying to get done with those 2 milestones by the beginning of the year. So I really do need a break so that I can focus on that and get to dissertating, as they say, which I feel like isn't a real word, but everybody says it, so then it is. But yeah.
I was about to say, I did not know dissertating was a
Yes.
word, but I'm here
Yes.
for it.
Yes.
I'm here for it. And I
Mhm.
love this for you. I mean, I just want you to get famous so I can be your personal assistant
I don't even
and
know.
I can
I'm Kelly
resign.
and I'm Gail. So,
Girl, bye. Girl, bye. But listen, Gail is a millionaire, so she got a personal assistant. So,
oh yeah. I mean, Gail is probably Gail
okay,
and Kelly are
listen.
both bad examples, but you get the
I
point. I'm
mean,
the
I
sidekick.
was about to say,
I'm the sidekick.
I will be Gail's personal assistant, okay? But no, I also think that the climate that we've been living in, the climate that we've been recording this season against has also been very hard because these types of climates are they sneak up on you. It's not so terrible that every day is a drag, but it's like when the high is high, it's high, but when the low is low, my God, it is low. And it is like that ride at the amusement park that goes one turn too long. And it was like, okay, this shit was fun 5 minutes
But
ago,
now it's not.
but now I'm ready to get off. And I feel like that has sort of been the feeling and the sentiment during season 9. Like, this is fun, but okay, I'm ready to get off.
And you talk about the highs and the lows, Amber, and then this is where you and I are going to be different. Where are the highs? Where are the highs? Because
Well,
I'm
I
like,
was thinking about that. And I feel
okay,
like for me, part of the highs of this season was I'm very proud to say that we had two white men as guests this season because I think that as we do this work, listen, let me
okay,
finish, let
I'm
me land
listening.
my
I'm just,
plane.
I'm.
But I think that it's important for us to remember that liberation is a group project. We say it a lot.
It is.
And so I love the fact that we had these two sort of straight up and down white men who have sort of made it a part of their work to talk about and do things about the inequity they see happening around them.
Right.
Because the bottom line is, unless and until they buy in, the shit is not going to change. And so for me, that was one of the highs, particularly going back to, I guess it was episode 2 of the season when we had Bill Holston from the Dallas Eviction Advocacy Project on when we were talking about Evicted, the book by Matthew Desmond. I think it's important for people to know that, yes, we are pro Black, we love Black people, but we recognize that this work belongs to all of us. And just us alone doing the work is not going to change nothing. Nothing. Okay.
Okay,
Everybody
that's
gonna have to
fair.
wake up one day and realize this stuff is broken and broke-ish, and we all have a part to play in fixing it. So I love the fact that 2/3 of our guests this season were white men.
I love the fact that because of your training as a trial lawyer, you can turn anything into something else. So I appreciate because I'm over here like buying into this mess that you. But okay, I see what you're saying, and I'm with you. I'm with you when you're right.
I mean, listen, I feel like so much of what we're seeing right now is all the stuff that a lot of white men are doing wrong. Every day we wake up, it's another story about Trump. It's another story about this. It's another story about that. And so, listen, when we talk about, oh, y'all need to gather your people, we need to all listen. We got to give props to the people that's being
Gathering their
gathered and
people.
being really and being willing to do the work. So, props to who props is due.
Okay, that's fair. I'm okay. I'm with you. That was definitely a high from this season.
Yes.
I'll go with you on that. This is public service announcement. We are not praising white men at all. So before anybody be like, that's not what we're doing here. We're
Okay,
talking
because
about
Twitter handed my butt to me because I had the audacity to say Joe Biden had a successful presidency. And I'm like, I mean, y'all
did you say that?
reneged.
Did you say that
Girl,
out loud with your
in
chest?
I said it in context. What I was trying to say was that if the only thing that he did wrong was co-sign on the killing of brown people, ain't nobody gonna give him no mess about that. Ain't nobody gonna give him no mess about that. That's all I was trying to say.
You're just saying if the worst thing that he did was undergird and fund a genocide of Palestinian people, nobody is going to care about that and there will be no smoke for him.
Yes, because those people, they're those people over there, and you know how Americans are. And so what I was trying to say is he ain't taking he's not has he taken any significant smoke from that?
I get your point. Again, public service announcement. We understand that there's an act of genocide and
We
think that that's a
understand.
problem. But
Yes.
you're just saying the public at large doesn't view it that
Yes.
way. And because of that, if you're looking at his presidency from that perspective, it looks like, okay,
Yes. That's all I was trying to say. He ain't gonna take
okay.
no smoke for when have imperialists ever taken smoke for co-signing on the
For
killing
being
of black and brown
imperialism.
people? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All right.
get you.
All right. All right.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I'm trying to go with you, Amber. We're trying to okay.
Listen,
So
only one of us has been to see Ben Crump in the last 30 days, and it's not me. Okay. Okay.
I'm screaming.
Okay. So,
That is true. And look, and thought he was charming and smart.
okay.
So I get you. The contradictions are here.
When
They're
she come in
everywhere.
here in season 10 rocking her NAACP lifetime member t-shirt,
Don't do it.
just remember you got the T first on Sayonara season 9.
Don't do it. So, but maybe one of the highs for me was Amber when we were talking about death to white Jesus. Maybe the crucifixion of white Jesus would be a high for me. I don't know.
I love that. I love that. And that is somebody who definitely needs to die for sure.
But the high for me related to our episode where we talked about sort of the black church, white Jesus, was we had one of my new friends, Stephanie House Myamki, that came onto the show. And I actually met Stephanie last week. So I'm so excited because she was one of the people I got to actually put my arms around and tell her I appreciate her. So I am grateful for that community. And I'm also grateful for, I think, the things that she said when she was here. I'm still working through some of them though, because I feel like I'm probably of the opinion, I'm probably willing to give less grace than y'all might be. So I'm still trying to figure out how I can find grace in my heart that I don't yet have to give.
Yeah. So let me ask you something about that. Because I wonder about that sometimes. I mean, I know you cosplay Ursula the Sea Witch, but I know deep in your heart you have a heart. Is it that you have a problem with grace or you have a problem with the inequitable distribution of grace? Because that is what my problem is. So I actually have no issue with extending grace to leaders that fall. I mean, we name names on the ministry. I don't think Tony Evans should be treated the same as Robert Morris at Gateway. I think if you have a 50-year career where you have generally walked with integrity, you've done the right things, you've been present for people, I think that matters. What I think is the problem is that you get cloaked in grace when you make a mistake. And then when your daughter got pregnant and she was unmarried, she had to go apologize to the church, right? Even though she didn't do nothing to them people. And so my issue is not with the extension of grace. It's the ways that we are discriminate about the distribution of grace and inequitable about it, and how the grace follows the patriarchy and follows the misogyny and follows the power and the money. And so that's my issue.
But if it's not grace to give to everybody who is deserving of it, then is it really grace? I guess I don't know. I just feel like what they're extending to the people with power and money and all of that, then it feels like something else. I don't really know what I'm trying to say here, but I feel like we might be doing something else and it's not extending grace.
I received that. And I think there is some validity to that point, that when you are selective about it, is it really the free gift that we talk about grace to be? I think that's a valid question that we have to sit with. But I think that just the concept of not throwing away somebody and throwing away their life of good works and their life of positive service because of one mistake, I don't think that standing alone is a flawed concept. For me, what I think the problem is that the same way we rush to uphold these men when they make mistakes, we don't do that for everybody else. And that's my problem.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
that's
my
absolutely
problem.
fair. That's absolutely fair. Because we still don't know what happened with Tony Evans. We still
Right. Child, we don't moved on. Ain't nobody even asking no more.
no, 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 no. We
Okay?
we
Because
have moved on.
Tony is salt and pepper. It ain't none of your business. Okay? It's none of your
Yes.
business.
Yes.
Right.
That's what basically what happened.
Right.
So I'm still working through those things. Jesus still working through me. And that's kind of where it is. So I I don't know. So we'll have to just keep talking. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. That's
Mhm,
fair.
mhm.
That's fair. We have to sit with a lot of this stuff. So I think that's fair. So what would you be what would you call a low from this season for you? What was a low?
I think the lowest of the lows for me actually was the last episode that we did where we were talking about Kamala Harris and Sonia Massey. And those were lows to me for like a few different reasons. Sonia Massey for all the obvious reasons, right? Here's a
Mm-hmm.
woman who thought she was doing the right thing by trying to get some help for herself and invites her murderers into her home, unwittingly, and is like killed in cold blood and just so callously. And so that, of course, is a low to me because I think about the state, and Ben Crump talks about extrajudicial killings, and this absolutely being one of those. So that's awful. And then when I think about Kamala Harris and her ascendancy as the Democratic nominee, and thinking about again her role as a representative of the state and how
Mm-hmm.
she is, in my opinion, commodifying her positionality. Whether there are all these debates, which I find interesting about is she black, because I don't even know that 5 years ago that would have even been a thing, because I'm
Correct.
not here to parse that out, because right or wrong, I'm the one drop commander. Okay, so well, you got one drop, you're with us. But anyway, so how she's sort of commodifying her positionality, her identity, and really leading people to where. And I'm really irritated at the lack of policy that she has shared, at least publicly on her website. There's nothing to see. And I hate how we allow people to play in our faces just because they are black. So that for me is probably, those are the lowest of the lows.
Yeah. I agree. I also think it's interesting that we capped last episode with Kamala and Sonia Massey because we also had a similar conversation when we did the episode about the Secure DC bill. Because the mayor of DC, Muriel Bowser, is
Mhm.
a Black woman.
Yep.
And so, sort of continuing this conversation of Black women, particularly being the face of imperial violence and what that means and why it's significant. It's hard because I feel like something that we are not really encouraged to do is hold the tension about what it means to essentially just have Black actors perpetrating the same things while also trying to be happy that we have achieved a level of representation, and I feel like there are a lot of us, and I'll raise my hand and admit I am one of
We
them.
know from the last episode, because you had them people coming at me because of what you were saying. The people was like, "Is Amber serious?" And Erica, what you over there doing with Amber? And I'm over here having to fight for you because you're like, "Well, I kind of got a soft spot for it."
Listen, I I grew up, I feel like in the same age as you, I grew up with my Black history facts. Who is the first Black person to do this? The first Black person to do that? Listen, I will be the first to admit I am still doing my work in that regard because I have been taught my entire life
Sure.
that representation is significant. And so there is a humongous amount of tension I hold around that. However, I will say that separate and aside from the tension for that, I still believe that for Black people, voting is an act of survival. And I have the right when I'm trying to survive in a system to figure out who is least likely to kill me the quickest and which one of these people I have the best opportunity to survive against if I'm trying to fight for my life. And I think that it is loaded with a whole lot of privilege for Black people to talk about voting third party for the average Black person. For the average Black person. I feel like when we're talking about voting as an act of survival, I mean, that's like being in a fight for your life and asking somebody to go get you a Nerf gun. Like, what the fuck you gonna do with that?
We're not gonna relitigate this, so
We
I'm
don't
gonna
have
just
to, but
we
I'm just talking to the people that's coming for me. That's all I'm saying is to voting is an act of survival for Black people. That's in my personal opinion.
and you know what? Because we're not gonna relitigate that, I'm gonna just be like, okay, Amber. I'm gonna just be like, okay.
Yes. And
Yes.
I still have my kente cloth from third grade. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all something I told Erica in the group chat. So when I was in third grade, we did a Black History program, a whole program dedicated to Dr. Ben Carson. Okay, and I played his
I
wife.
don't even remember this.
Was Candy. Remember at Tony Evans Church, Oklahoma Fellowship. Remember I told you this?
Things get
And because
worse and worse and worse.
Delina told us the man was Seventh Day Adventist, and I was like, I'm shocked that he got. Like, we did a whole dedication, Ben Carson Day. We learned everything about the man. So I can own I'm still doing my work. Representation matters to me. Okay, I have my kente cloth made in China. Okay, I came of age in that time, and it is what it is.
I'm gonna just say okay. I'm gonna
Thank
just say
you.
okay. That's all. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
just say okay. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Coming live from the Black History Program in 1994 in Oak Cliff, Texas. Baby.
Thank you, Amber, and thank you, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, for making it so that. And do
Oh,
we blame Carter G. Woodson for a lot of this? Is he to blame? I'm not gonna blame him. He didn't
would you
know.
look Carter G. Woodson in his face and call him a respectable Negro today?
No, but I also
Exactly.
wouldn't look Ben Crump in his face and tell him what I think about him because I think it's rude. I don't.
Okay.
That's me being a coward. That's probably me being a coward. But
Okay. Okay.
that's me being a coward.
Well, I I hope that as we take our break for season 10, that justice is swift for the murderer of Sonia Massey.
Sure, for sure.
Because I feel like this is one of the more egregious cases. And not only do I hope that justice is swift, I hope that we also take this time to implement some of the reforms that we have been calling for years. Qualified immunity needs to be flushed down the toilet. Um, Officers who are accused of committing violent acts, there needs to be a national database of officers who are found to be guilty of these types of crimes because the ability for people to commit a crime and then get
Hop
rehired
to
as
the next.
law
Over to the next.
enforcement is staggering.
Right.
Okay. So I really do hope that because this was not only so senseless, but it was so violent and so just horrific in nature that it shocks our consciousness in a way that inspires us to do something. Truly, that is my prayer to the Lord because this should not happen again. And if it does, shame on us.
And this is where the pessimistic me comes in. Do you think America gets shocked by stuff? Like Amber. Like
Well, you're right.
we
You're
watched
right.
George Floyd be murdered over the course of, was it 9 minutes? And
9 minutes and some
okay,
change.
over the course of 9 minutes, and then felt bad for a year. And then after that, we're like, oh,
That's true. That's
but
true.
I get it's a prayer. So I'll touch and agree.
Well,
Touch and agree.
well, I guess
But
it's a low for a reason.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But another again low for me, of course, is Black people and our money or our lack of money, and people try to sell us financial literacy. So you know, I hate when I don't hate when academics say my work because I feel like those people legitimately have work. But me as a student, without anything that's actually been published in a peer-reviewed journal, I feel like I can't say my work because
The devil is a lie. Yes, you can.
no, the academy has not legitimized my work. I have to wait for them to do that. Anyway, that's not the point. So, we talked about financial literacy, and one thing I will say that is a high, but had nothing to do with the show. But I got my first op-ed published. Oh my gosh! And it is about financial literacy because that's what I care about, among other things. But yeah, financial literacy is sort of my
It's
jam.
giving famous. It's giving educated. It's
Oh my
giving
god.
expert. It's giving. Yes, yes.
Yes. So I don't yet have the link to the article because it's in a print magazine and it comes out of print before it comes out online. So hopefully at some point I will add that to the receipts for this show. I'll put
Love it.
my first byline. That's what we call it, us authors, the writers.
Oh, okay. Let me book you for the show, sis.
And I'm excited about this article because, okay, I was really not trying to drag people. So I hope that when people read it, they won't be like, it was my intent to drag people. I think maybe people might have gotten pulled, but that was not my intent. My intent is just to sort of shine a light on the things that I'm seeing as somebody who is looking around in the financial literacy space and seeing a lot of things. And a lot of things I'm seeing are just not good. And I feel like they're harmful to Black people. And of course, we are the people who are the most at risk for some of these schemes. So that's what I was really trying to shed a light on.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And congratulations.
Thank
And
you. Thank
um,
you.
is the print version of the publication available for purchase by us uneducated menus?
Don't do that.
Like,
Don't
can
do
we
that.
get it?
It's a
Because
regular it's a
I was about
regular
to say
magazine.
we can still try to tell people where they can find it in case we don't want to wait. Okay, we want to sip the tea while it's hot.
Well, by the time you got the magazine in the mail, it'll be out online. So it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, touche,
Yeah,
touche.
it's fine. So, what about you? Highs or lows?
Well, one of the things that I think about financial literacy is that I think it's a tool. And so I think that encouraging people to be financially literate is a perfectly good thing to do. Telling people that they can be delivered from the ills of capitalism while they are Black because they are financially literate is a scheme. So I
Okay.
agree with you about that.
Okay.
But yes, is there a benefit to our people being financially literate? Yes. I mean, of course, the more you know, that's what reading Rainbow, okay?
Got it.
Um,
Okay. That's fair.
so yeah, I feel like part of the scam in this country is that we tell people the right things for the wrong reasons, right? So we promote certain things, buy a home, be financially literate, go to college. And those things are, they're perfectly noble. They're perfectly good goals. There's nothing wrong with them. But we attach things to them that make the the pursuit feel nefarious or feel like it is a scam. You know what I'm saying? And so I just wish we didn't do that to people, because there is a real emotional toll it takes on folks when they spend their whole life chasing this stuff and then they get it and they ain't no better off. They in a whole bunch of debt, trying to keep up with the Joneses, and then all of this shame and guilt sets in, because it's like, well, dang, I did everything everybody told me, and I'm still struggling. I'm still in the trap. I just got a brick house, a bunch of debt, and two nice to semi nice cars, and that's the part I don't like.
Yes, absolutely. But I also think that the way the system works is that oftentimes these things, when they are shared with Black people specifically, they are scams. And so you talked about like they're not inherently bad. And I think probably for other people, they're not inherently bad, but for us, oftentimes I think they are. So one example I'm thinking of right now is I joined this Facebook group of adjunct professors. And so for people who don't know, adjunct professors are not full-time staff. We are woefully underpaid. Like it is almost like working for free, like how little money you make being an adjunct instructor. So in this Facebook group, there are all of these Black adjunct instructors or aspiring adjunct instructors, and people often post questions about like, how can I get put on? I'm trying to get hired. Da,
Mhm.
da, da, da. And then you also see people posting a lot, like from getting their PhDs or their master's degrees
Yeah.
from for-profit colleges, and you can kind of see how, like, you can see the inequalities on full display in this
Yep.
group, and how everybody's just so excited to get an education because, like you said, education is good. But an education at a for-profit college is, in my estimation, it's worrisome for a lot of different reasons. And so that's why it just breaks my heart so much, because people are trying to go by the playbook, and then the things that we get offered are just not good options.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And I also think that sometimes being financially literate, like, the saying, ignorance is bliss. It's like,
Oh, right.
I wish I wasn't financially literate, because,
Right.
then I would think I was doing all right. But
Right.
hell,
I thought I could retire, and then I realized that I can never.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then you think about, like, there was a time in my life where if I would have had this, or if I would have saw that, I would have thought that was so good. And
You
then you
arrived.
realize, yes, I've arrived at this place and I still can't retire. I still got about 60, maybe 90 days if I lose my job for this issue's burnt to the ground, notwithstanding all of it.
Yeah. And that's what capitalism is and does. And so, of course, at that conference, I went to a lot of interesting sessions, right? Like, you just get to nerd out on all these things. And one of the sessions was talking about how capitalism sort of requires this constant onslaught of crisis. So it's just like essentially one crisis to the next, to the next, to the next. And the thing we see now, at least in their interpretation, is sort of the period of time between the crises is just collapsing. So instead, you used to get
Mm,
sometimes be able to come up for air, right? And now it's just like crisis after crisis. You don't have time to recover. And that's the fatigue that sets
mm.
in and all the other kind of stuff. So anyway, child,
Wow, that's
crisis after
deep.
crisis.
That's
Here we
deep.
are. But there is the crisis of anti-Blackness. And we talked about how anti-Blackness is not always white, that
No.
sometimes the torch bearers of anti-Blackness can be Black. And I still am of the opinion that somebody like Roland Martin is more dangerous than somebody like Candace Owens because of who follows them. And I think, well, more dangerous in terms of their ability to like gather or galvanize Black people. Because I
Hmm.
think Candace didn't have a Black following, so I don't think she can get the people together. But Roland, I think, right or wrong, I think has the ability to get the people together. But unfortunately, I think he's sort of to the point of representation, sort of just leading us down that path. And so I think that's very harmful. Not to say that Candace is not harmful, right? In many ways, this conversation sort of mimics that whole Republican Democrat conversation
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's kind of how I'm feeling about anti-Blackness.
No, I don't think you're wrong. What I struggle with in this space though is um how do we alternate between the labels of anti-blackness and like miseducation? Because I feel like a lot of the people, like if you made a bucket and you just sort of started to put people in who, you know, spout anti-blackness, who promote anti-black agendas, I think probably 95% of them would sincerely put their hand on the Bible and swear that the things that they were doing in legitimate service to our people and to our righteous cause to be free and to be treated justly in this country. And so what that makes me wonder is that because a lot of anti-blackness is taught to us by other black people, right? It's perpetuated and passed
Respectability
on.
politics is anti-Black.
Yes, generationally. And so then I wonder, like, it in that way, is it is it fair to call it anti-blackness? Because or is it miseducation? Is it, because there is a level of sympathy I have
For
for
everybody.
people.
That's why we fighting today, Amber. That's the level you have for
But there
everybody.
is a level of sympathy I have for people who
I know.
are
The
in
grace. Give
pursuit
them
of
the grace.
are in pursuit of righteousness in the wrong way. Because maybe it's because of my own journey, Um so I don't know. That is something I struggle with. Candace is not hard for me. But I feel like if you put Roland in a room and asked him to put his hand on the Bible, that man would sincerely put his
100%.
hand on a Bible and say he was doing this work for our people because he loves our people and because he truly thinks this is the way
100%.
to see us free. And
100%.
so, and I think he thinks that because of his miseducation.
Absolutely. And I mean, uh, you know, contrary to popular belief, Black people have not always thought that freedom came the same way. Like, we ain't
Right.
never been on one accord. We ain't never had
That's true.
one Black agenda and plan.
That's true.
So, I mean, I just, I really hope that I can live in the Du Boisian legacy of just sending people letters in the mail and telling them why they wrong and telling, calling them out. I
But
mean, I
then
don't
you
know.
can't publish them after you do it. Oh, that's funny.
So I don't know. And I believe you. I think Roland thinks he's doing all the right things. And I disagree. So I get to be the person who decides what's anti-Black. I'm the one that and I decided it's anti-Black. There you go. I decided.
Okay. I mean, it's giving Animal Farm, but okay, sis.
I don't know
Um,
Animal Farm. What that mean?
the book,
I'm sorry,
no,
I didn't go to
oh,
an elite boarding school or not boarding school.
all pigs are equal, but some are more equal than others, where, all of a sudden the pigs decide to become, above everybody and start deciding unilaterally what is and what is not acceptable.
Okay.
It was an allegory about communism, but anyway. But no, I get what you're saying. I guess for me, I've been thinking about this a lot. This is so random. Like I think about what liberation looks like, right? I think about how we be or exist as people, like in a liberated society. Because even in liberation, there will be trifling people, right? There will be people who make bad choices, who um, want to see others fail because it makes their winning feel more significant. And so I guess what I think about is like what space do we make for those people in a liberated framework? Because they will exist. I mean, liberation is about taking the shackles off, but you can only have a new mind if you want one. If you do the work to get one. And so, I do think about that. Like these people will be with us in that
Why
prophetic place.
though?
See, I mean, they will be there. And like, what do we do with that? Like, what do we do with that?
Hmm. That's unfortunate. Uh, It is.
I mean,
Everybody can't go. Everybody
they
can't
have to,
go.
or it's not liberation. It's just a regime change if they don't go. If they're not free too. And that's the thing. Like I think about that sometimes. Like I guess really what liberation is that people are still free to make their same piss poor choices and do dumb shit without either the choice or the consequence being influenced or driven by the inequity around them. You know, which is
We're gonna have to come back. I guess we're gonna have to toss that to the people. People gonna have to tell us, Amber. I don't know. I want y'all to do better.
yes, but as we're fighting to be free, you got to be free with Roland. You got to be free with Joy. You got to be free with Angela. You got to be free with all of these people. And so what happens in liberation when we don't all see it the same way?
Well, you know what? I'll be dead by then.
I mean, because I feel like you just want you and Malcolm,
Wow.
and a couple other people on Gilligan's Island just, pumping the middle finger up at the rest of us.
Look. Me and my Taurus brother, Malcolm. Yes. Like, why? This is what? Yes. Like, the rest of y'all are wrong.
I mean,
The
I'm
rest
just
of y'all
saying.
are wrong. So, yeah, Amber, that was it for me. Season 9. Season 9.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get to take you a good long nap while we on break. And I, for one, must say that I am so glad that Erica is tired this time. Because the last time when I was tired, okay, there was no grace for me. Okay. When I went and said, I need a break longer than 3 minutes and 26 seconds, okay, baby, y'all would have thought that I told this lady that she was a bald head scallywag, didn't have no hair in the back, gelled up, weaved up. Her hair was messed up. Okay, that's what you would have thought I had said. And so, what I am glad for on this day is that God is doing a good work in my life, and I am able to find some grace for our tired sister that when she was refreshed, she could not find for me. Hallelujah. And thank you, Jesus. So,
Well, Amber, I'm just glad you're a better woman than I am. That's
agree.
look.
Agree.
And finally, we ending the show on we agree that Amber's a better woman than I am.
Okay.
Look.
Okay.
So I
Right.
guess we're going on break. So ain't no homework.
Amen.
Ain't no homework. Ain't no motivational messages. Amber didn't told y'all the last time though that representation is not revolution. So we know that part. But now we stuck on who's gonna be on the other side of the revolution, and I don't know. So I guess that's the question that we're gonna ponder on our break, Amber. Is
Yes, and maybe we need to grapple with it in season 10. Yes, God, yes. What is
maybe
what does liberation look like?
what does liberation look like? Okay. Well, let's see.
Mhm.
Let's see if we can figure it out. But y'all, thanks for tuning in to season 9, and we look forward to catching up with you on the next season of Brokeish.
All right, good people. Thanks for listening to Brokeish. For more episodes, visit us at brokeish.com or subscribe, and Brokeish will get direct deposited into your favorite podcast app on the 1st and 15th. Share Brokeish with your friends and join the conversation on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Music for Brokeish is Come Get Some by Blank and Kit. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.
They say when you wear Black Power Media gear, you can accomplish anything. You can play any and every position. Coaching, to kicking, to receiving, to running and juking. And oh my goodness, I see that again in slow motion. Get off me. And you're going to have a lot of haters coming at you, but what you got to do is you got to shake them off, and get to your goal and accomplish it. And when that's done, it's a beautiful thing. I'm talking about going hard, extra, for that extra point. And when it's done beautifully, you talking about touchdown. Oh, and the crowd goes wild and they're celebrating with you and everything. Man, let's see that again. Nice.
Black Power Media, baby. That's how we do it.
Now go to blackpowermedia.org and get you some of that gear. Empower yourself today. Yeah.